Welcome back to Zaim's channel. My name is Zaim Iskandar. Tonight's video will be about 6 drivers that will be racing in F1. The last time F1 had a debutant, 3 or more debutants, was in 2019, where a certain George Russell, a certain Lando Norris, the two British drivers, and the Thai-born British driver in Alex Albon, who made their debuts in 2019. So, out of the 6 drivers that will be racing for next year, 2025, 4 of them are debutants. That's the most since 2019. So, who are they? One Brazilian. Okay. We have not had a Brazilian world champion since 1991. That is an interesting fact. So yeah, number 1 is Brazilian. Number 2 is Italian. Number 3 is the French-born Algerian driver. Number 4 is the Australian driver. The Australian driver, the father is a former two-time MotoGP world champion, if I'm not mistaken. I forgot to Google his father's name. His father's career in MotoGP. So yeah. So his son will be racing. Okay, there will be 2 Australian drivers on the grid next year. The last time we had 2 Australian drivers on the grid was, I think, before the Dutch Grand Prix. Yeah, after that Liam came in for the last 10 Grand Prix of this year. So the other 2 drivers that will be racing in F1 actually made their debuts, had already made their debuts. One was Liam Lawson. He made it in the Dutch Grand Prix in 2023, where he replaced an injured Daniel Ricciardo. He broke his finger in one of the sessions for the Dutch Grand Prix. I think it was qualifying, practice or qualifying. I forgot this. So he has a total of 11 races under his belt, and a certain British driver, I think the last British driver to drive for a Ferrari team before this particular British driver drove for this team was Nigel Mansell in the 90s. Wow, that's very long. Over 30 years ago. Wow, that's very, very long. Yeah. So Nigel Mansell. Over 30 years ago. In the late 80s, sorry. Mid 80s to the late 80s. So Mansell drove for Ferrari. So yeah. So he was the first British driver to drive for Ferrari in place of a certain the son of a certain WRC world champion and Dakar rally champion, Carlos Sainz. Carlos Sainz has a son by the name of Carlos Sainz Jr. Oliver Berman replaced Carlos Sainz for the Saudi Grand Prix earlier in the season, because he had his appendicitis operation for Carlos Sainz Jr. and yeah, then in towards the middle to the end of the season like that, he replaced Magnussen through illness and one race suspension for Magnussen in the Haas sorry F1 team. So he has 3 races under his belt, and only these 2 drivers has raced in F1 before 2025. The other 4, it will be starting next year. So the names of the 4 drivers, they are promoted from they are actually a graduate in from F2 into F1. So Ki, Kimi Andrea Antonelli or Andrea Kimi Antonelli, I don't know whether I'm saying his name correctly. He's Italian. Then the Brazilian. The last Brazilian champion was in 1991. It was Ayrton Senna. Yes. So this Brazilian driver is Gabriel Bortoleto. Yeah, it's a bit of a tongue twister to pronounce his name, just because he's Brazilian. And this next driver is a French-born Algerian driver in Isaac Hajar. I don't know how to pronounce his surname, because I pronounce his surname, it sounds very Malay, but it's actually French-Algerian. So yeah, I don't know why I pronounce his surname, it sounds very Malay. So the driver that I was talking about earlier in the video, I think his father, yeah, I told you guys about his father. His son is an F1 driver, Jack Doohan. And the last time we had 2 Australian drivers was before the middle of this season. Yeah, before Ricardo got dropped. Yep, in the after the Singaporean Grand Prix. That was in September, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, it was in September. Because yeah, the race was about, I think, on the week of my birthday or a week after my birthday. So yeah, so we will have 2 Australian drivers, one in PS3 and one in Doohan, Doohan, Jack Doohan. Doohan is his surname. So yeah, like PS3 is his surname. Ricardo is his surname. So yeah. Liam Lawson. I think Lawson is his surname. So Antonelli is a surname. Hajar is a surname. And Bortoleto. I have to get used to pronouncing his names. These 4 drivers, I will be making a video in a couple of days time, where these 4 drivers will be racing. Okay, but for the other 2 drivers, they have a full-time race seat with Haas. Yes, Haas will have a new lineup, and uh, yeah. Who is his teammate? Oliver Berman's teammate for Haas next year. So that will be answered in the upcoming videos. And the next one will be Liam Lawson. Liam Lawson's teammate is a four-time world champion, Max Verstappen. So that is confirmed. There are no questions about it. So yeah. Good night and see you on my next video.